Um. So uh, things that actors and famous people do to add to their repertoire and their income and stuff. So, for instance, um, Aviation Gin, Ryan Reynolds. The Rock has a tequila coming out now. Both Nicolas Cage and Keanu Reeves have motorcycle building companies and stuff like that. Does anybody here
Keanu
have
Reeves
one?
has a motorcycle company?
Oh yeah, Keanu Reeves's motorcycles are fucking sick, dude. Like I can't even. But it's
What are they
well,
called?
I don't remember. But it's not. It's like kind of like the Rust Bucket Car TV show garages. Like it's a garage. You know, they build custom bikes. They don't like manufacture bikes. They build custom bikes. So you go into his bike shop, you're gonna see like
Okay.
Kawasaki's and Suzuki's and stuff, or Harleys and stuff. But they're hand built, which means that they're select parts. It's not just a bike with all
Like those
the
people that
standard
yell
parts.
at each other all for a living
Yeah,
on
yeah,
TV.
yes, exactly. Um, so is there any product you guys have tried, would like to try, or if there was even a fictional character that came out with like what is it? One of the internet browsing Opera. Opera came out with the Boys edition from the show The Boys on, I want to say it's Prime. Um Opera GX browsing, and they made it like it was from the company from the TV show, and it was a hilarious ad. It was fucking awesome. Is there any product out there that you guys have tried, would like to try, or if one could be made up by even a fictional character, you would try based because that person made it? Sean.
I hate celebrities probably more than anybody because I think that they're all a bunch of weird pedophiles. So no, I wouldn't do any of them because I
None.
literally hate celebrities. There's not a single celebrity endorsement that I would. If a celebrity came out and said this water will literally let you live to be 100,000 years old, I wouldn't drink it because I don't trust any of those people. I think they're the weirdest consortium of human beings on the
I mean,
planet.
Well,
that's also
well,
completely
well. I
also
mean,
unbelievable.
celebrity is like a stretch, though. I mean, it could be a YouTube star. It could be a custom, like for me, if I could get a custom built AK from Brandon Herrera, I would be all over that shit. But like anyway, so there's nothing for you, Sean.
Nothing.
I'm gonna say I do not drink alcohol, but out of celebrities, I think that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is a pretty likable person. I don't know enough about him, but I mean, just by what media stuff I've seen, I would try his tequila because mostly also because I don't like tequila, and I do know a good tequila when I try it. So I do want to try it, but I'm not about to go out and buy a bottle.
Surprised you didn't pick Clooney's because Clooney's is unanimously the best
Is
tequila
it
on the
really?
planet.
Oh, okay.
Casamigos, yeah, Casamigos is unanimously
Casamigos.
named the best tequila on the planet.
Well, so because I'm not as big a fan of George Clooney, so that's what, like, again, that would be what motivated me to try it, just because I've seen a lot of rock movies, and I've loved all of them because they're
Have
mostly,
you?
yeah, they're
An
terrible,
awful
they're
actor.
horrible. Yeah, that's why
He's an
I've loved it. Yeah,
awful actor.
and he still goes, he keeps going, man. It's chugging along like a formula that
One,
works for
one
no
box
reason.
office, one box office bombing at a time. Yes,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
continuing
And
to wind this thing down.
somehow it
Thank
just
God.
keeps going. I don't get it, but it's
Thank
still fucking
God.
great. Um, but that's one of the reasons that I love him, is that he still does. I think it's because it was Be Cool that I saw him in. It was the second Get Shorty movie, and he played a gay bodyguard, and he just played it so well that after that movie, I really started watching his stuff, and I felt like he has a very interesting range for
Probably
somebody
because
who
there
does
wasn't
that.
much acting involved in it. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has this huge range of characters he can play, but he only has one thing he does, like, so it's
Yeah.
pretty fun. So anyway, I respect that, and that was why I would try his tequila. He's also I've seen him do a lot of publicity stuff that I think was cool, like, and I would get behind that, like, yeah, I would definitely try his tequila if given a free chance to. I didn't even know Clooney made tequila. I thought he was in the alcohol. A lot of them are in the alcohol industry. A
Oh,
whole lot.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no
Absolutely. A lot of them are.
clothing that I would try that I've seen. I mean, if I saw something that looked cool as far as clothing went, I might think about it. But I haven't seen anything. They always go crazy with their clothes, and I'm never about that. Um, there are some cars and motorcycles I definitely would buy if I had the money. Like the Keanu Reeves motorcycles are beautiful, and it's also because I've seen his passion for it. So there's other factors, but yeah. Adrian, any?
Not that I can think of. Maybe some YouTubers,
Okay.
like just like you said, the gun YouTuber, Brandon Herrera.
Brendan Herrera, yeah.
But off the top of my head, no, not really. I'm not necessarily big into like, oh look, guys, I'm cool and I pretend for a living, and
Well,
I
no, it
want you to
wouldn't be
buy
about
this for
that.
me.
It would be more just because, like, oh, I like,
I
I
like
like
that
this
person.
person, and I feel like he
Okay.
probably have a quality thing. Like, if Captain America came out with shields, I'd buy one. Well, I wouldn't need a shield, but you know what
Ooh,
I
the
mean.
Captain America shield. You
Well,
can
I
run
would.
around with it.
No, I would buy one because think of who my dad is. I have to give him one. He's Captain America. What can I say? Okay, so he thought it took him a minute, but he remembers now. My dad's name is Steve Rogers. So, all right.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah, you're right. That's
Is it
exactly
really?
so I
It
yeah
is.
yeah. So I'd have to get him
Wow.
yeah. I mean, there are a bunch of Steve Rogers in the U.S. So it's not like
Do you think you'd be able to afford one? Because vibranium's really expensive. That's the problem.
Well, I got a guy that
Like
gets.
really
I
expensive.
got a guy that
More
says.
rare than diamonds.
I
And
got
harder, apparently.
I got a guy that says he can get real tiny and get in the air vent and go get it for me. So, anyway,
On the topic of, I guess the only thing I guess I would qualify under here, and I don't think it's a celebrity, but
no, yeah.
obviously you know my long relationship I've had with the Hennessy Performance company doing up my cars. That's about the only, I guess. And again, I don't think that's a celebrity. If I said to most people, I don't think they would even know what that means. But I just don't think so.
I think I think you'd have a 1 in 10. Hennessy is a known.
think so?
I mean, well, I think you'd have, let's say 0.5 in 10 because the other 0.5 would think you meant Hennessy the drink. So
Okay.
So I think,
But why don't we ask the other person on the call?
Why don't we get a person on the call and see?
No, I said, why don't we ask the other person who's on and see if they know what that is?
Adrian, do you know who Hennessy
Yeah.
is?
No.
Like if I said to you, if I said to you, I drive a Cadillac CT4V Blackwing Hennessy Edition, would you know what that means?
No.
So there you go. So I don't think a lot of people would know that. So that's why I don't think there's a deep affiliation. I think racing fans would know that,
Or car
but I don't
fans.
think a lot of people. But I've had a long-standing relationship with them. They've done over a dozen cars with me in all the years. I've got 4, in the last 5 years that I've done with them. So they've done a lot of cars for me. That would be it.
I think celebrity counts as anybody who's. I mean, it's a company, so it's not really a celebrity, but it is one that we would see on TV often enough that I would say it has recognition. If you go to
It's a branding, like The Rock is a branding.
yeah. Well, if you
for the record, Adrian, that's a Texas-based company too. I just want to let you know that they're in your neck of the woods.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Hennessy?
Hennessy Performance Engineering. Yeah, they're pretty big.
That's pretty
okay.
Cool. Yeah. Well, so I would say that if you went to Texas Motor Speedway on a Sunday and said the word Hennessy, they'd know what you're talking about, though. So, and that's probably about. Actually, yeah, there'd be some that you'd have some nitwits there, but not just people there for the race. But I think that there's a bigger niche crowd than you might think, just because. I mean, NASCAR is like a third of the country watches NASCAR, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
No, I mean, I don't watch it.
I like cars going fast, but like they really just going in circles.
Yeah, don't get me. I mean, we had that talk the other day too. So I was never interested in watching racing with my dad ever until I started racing, and now knowing the little things, so I can see when somebody makes a mistake on the track that most other people won't see. Like so it's a little more exciting now, is all I can say. I cannot say I would sit down and watch a 500-mile.
We should try to go karting when you come down.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. I mean, it will be great. You might beat me.
That's gay, Nate.
Anytime you're talking shit, you should not stop after I'm gonna fuck you.
You're right.
There should be a continuation there, Nate. I'm just throwing that out there.
This is gonna be a good clip. All right, that's a YouTube short. Thank you, Sean. But no, Sean can vouch for my driving. I think I can show you a thing or two.
Yeah,
Great,
Nate's a
show
better
me.
go-kart driver than me, and I'm a pretty damn good driver.
He's
Not a better
really
car
good.
driver than me.
All you have to do is show me a couple
Or a
times,
go-kart
and then I'll
driver.
surpass you.
Sure, we'll see. Sean, I honestly, you're one of the very few people I couldn't pass. I've maybe Bailey is the only person I think I've raced against that I couldn't get by, and Bailey is, we know, a machine. So I'm not. He's
Yeah, but
arrogant,
you
but he's
smoked me head to head, even passing wise. Yeah, position race, but obviously racing a little
dude.
dirty.
You
But
are hard to you are so hard to pass. Honestly, I just got lucky the one time I passed you. The first time we raced, I could not believe I couldn't get by. I was so fucking frustrated, dude. And you know how to fuck with somebody's head on the track. You knew
yeah,
what I was gonna do, and you just fucking closed. Oh, yeah. You're a
but,
frustrating
but like you
opponent.
said, you noticed the mistake that I made when you did get to the inside of me. You noticed I fucked up and I went a shade too far to the outside, and you literally dove the front of your nose
I
into my
know.
back tire, and it was perfect. It was clean as hell. It was great. That was the best pass anybody's ever had on me.
the,
But you noticed I went over like literally this
I
much,
know.
and you burned me. So
It wasn't. I had help. That kid is way better than I
yeah,
was
but
too.
still, it
But
was
yeah.
But anyways,
All
but
right.
yeah,
Oh,
I
Nate,
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, I went drifting. So
in a
I didn't
go-kart.
do the drifting. No,
You were
in
in
a
the
real car.
passenger seat.
I was in the passenger seat. Yeah.
Oh.
Like a rally car, like a Miata.
I actually don't know exactly what it is. It was some Nissan,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't.
Z. It was a Z.
And it was basically a friend from college invited me to a drifting event over here that was apparently that they hold at the police station, basically every other month or something.
See that
Um,
brilliant, dude. That's a good
and
tactic.
yeah, and basically I hopped into the passenger seat and he started doing figure eights, and that got me dizzy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I didn't realize how intense it was.
Oh, dude, wait till you get
Um,
into it. I hope there's a good go kart place around you that's not K1. I might not
Probably
even
gonna have to do a K1.
Yeah, we might have to do it at Kids. I mean,
All
they're
good.
taking everything over. They don't have a location in his neck of the woods. I don't.
but there's also like a mini track with a bunch of sharp corners and stuff that they essentially have you drift through
Yep.
like sharp turns and like it's all
What part of
cones and
Texas?
stuff.
What part of Texas you in?
Specifically the Houston area.
So definitely, there's like 3 K1s in Houston. Well, I know Houston's
are-
huge too.
Yeah,
Houston's
there probably
ginormous.
is. I have no idea. I didn't look at their track
Yeah,
roster.
I think there's an
Uh,
Andretti there too.
And then
There's
they
gotta
also
be.
have a larger track that basically you go a lot faster on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first thing he did was the figure eights in order to just basically warm up his tires, as he explained it to me,
Yeah.
in order to make it makes the car or makes the tires a lot more consistent.
Oh yeah, yeah. We know. Thank you.
And well, I mean,
Yeah.
your listeners might not necessarily know that.
No, I know. Sorry.
Well, but yeah, basically that I was just really surprised on the power of the car itself because the lurch. It was almost like a roller coaster whenever you start to go
Let
downwards.
me ask this. So
But
you.
it's shifting in a lot of different directions
Oh yeah.
as soon as he starts to turn.
So let me ask this. You were a passenger. Was it kind of
Yes.
a workout for you?
I didn't feel like it was a workout. I was told that it was going to feel like a workout, but I also work out a
Yeah,
lot
that's true.
more
Yeah, no, that's
intensely
true.
than some people do, or most of America. So,
Yeah, very true.
uh, but so it wasn't necessarily tiring. It was just exciting,
Oh yeah,
and the hardest part was just trying not to get motion sickness.
yeah.
It was
That's
trying to keep steady because
wi-
I didn't know what the car. It was really difficult for me to like make the car predictable to me
yes.
because I didn't know when we were going. It was very. He hadn't done it in a while. It was my first time. You can see how that could,
Yeah, yeah.
throw things off,
He probably
especially
wasn't
in
that smooth, but so
yeah. But
I
eventually, after I got the hang of it, it was awesome.
yeah. I'll say so. The motion sickness. I'll say this as a passenger, you're going to get it much more than if you're the driver because the concept of what the car is going to do is more predictable as a driver. I
Mhm.
definitely do not like being a passenger. There are very few people I've ever ridden with. Sean is among them that I feel even remotely comfortable. I think Sean is actually the only person I've ridden with that I'm not at some point stomping my foot through the floor. My dad, though he's a great driver, is probably the one that I'm the most guilty of doing that with because he trusts his brakes. I mean, he's the mechanic on them, so he gets it. He can do that. But Jesus fucking Christ, he trusts the brakes on his car. Yeah, both his cars have good brakes. I'm not gonna lie. That little Fit can stop on a fucking dime, and it can accelerate on it. It's
Makes
crazy.
a big difference.
It does. I seriously, my Prius does not have good go or stop. It doesn't do anything very well except mosey. All right. Well, so what prompted my question about product from celebrities? All right, here we go. This is going to be fun. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to want some thoughts. All right. Is my screen sharing? I hope it
Oh,
is.
this is funny. I was gonna jokingly say Trump steaks.
No. All right. So is
I'm hoping it's not Skims by Kim Kardashian, and
No,
we're not
no,
going
no,
to
no,
be in that.
Is my screen sharing?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
can see
Can
it.
you see it, Sean? If you,
There's nothing on it.
go to click watch or the plus sign.
Oh, okay. Yep. Watch stream. Okay. Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna just drag this over to
Limited
recording.
edition American Eagle Guitar Series. Jesus Christ. Well, I guess you really weren't far off.
No, he wasn't. We did actually already talk about this, me and him, but just as talking. So there's a story here. All right, so Trump, they came out with these. I think it's going on almost a week now. These are acoustic guitars right here that you see. He had a few different ones that he was selling. You can see these two are sold out. I'm kind of going to skim by it because I don't want you to look too hard into it yet. So the ones that are sold out are this model right here. This is a Les Paul style model, Gibson Les Paul style model.
Is it a Gibson guitar or just the style of it?
I'm so glad you asked that. Thank you. I made sure to say style. So here's the thing. So the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar Trump series that says "Make America Great Again" on the neck, as you see here, where it says Donald J. Trump. It says "Make America Great Again," and it's a black one with the American Eagle picture that you see in the same one here. Just it's a Les Paul style one and electric. So that's going for $1,500, and then the acoustic is going for $1,250. Now I can say very assertively that an acoustic guitar, no matter what, if it's made like this, which from a company, it's something they bought from somewhere else, shouldn't really be much more than $600. So they're overpricing that one. But a Les Paul from Gibson, brand new with all the fixins, is around $1,250. So that's a $1,500. That okay, that makes sense if it's a Les Paul. Okay, so his signature apparently is worth $10,000. Well, $9,000. If you $10,000 if it's electric, $9,000 if it's acoustic. Okay. If you want his signature on it.
Okay.
And then 4 days, I think it was 4 days after this went up, Gibson Les Paul served a cease and desist to gettrumpguitars.com, saying that, and they've done this before. They're not the first guitar company that has encountered this with Gibson Les Paul. So they gave them a cease and desist, which is not a court order of any sort. It's just a, hey, please stop doing this. Your stuff looks too much like ours. And then suddenly, I think it was 6 hours. This was something that I watched a few videos on. 6 hours after that, all of the signed ones sold out, and all of the electric ones with the American Eagle sold out. Interesting. And there's only 1,275 available. I say only, but that's actually quite a lot in my opinion, just because I would never buy one, but that's neither here nor there. So as a guitar person, and I had an expert look at these yesterday, and we went through a bunch of different things. To answer your question, Sean, we are going to go to the frequently asked questions here and refer to that. Who is the manufacturer of these guitars? Because that's basically going to be the quality. All of the guitars featured on GetTrumpGuitars.com were custom designed and developed by a veteran-owned company with the help of a master luthier. These guitars have been manufactured by multiple providers and include parts and features that are both domestic and international. This is a standard with most guitar manufacturers. That was number 3 6 days ago. It is now number 4 because number 3 is now GetTrump.com. GetTrumpGuitars.com is not affiliated, associated, authorized, endorsed, or in any way officially connected with Gibson Brand Inc. or any of its subsidiaries or its affiliates, nor does it represent itself as a dealer, manufacturer, or distributor of Gibson, Les Paul Standard, Les Paul Custom, which was what my guitar is, or any of their product. So, that is what the frequently asked questions, which I guess kind of answers your question. I can say, having looked at 3 different models of Les Paul guitars in the expert's house and having him show me the differences, one thing to look out for, very, very big, is a Vietnamese body, which in this case you can see it is a Vietnamese body because instead of being a curve on the left, it curves a little bit more than a normal Les Paul does, curves inwards instead of just goes straight into the neck. So it's a Vietnamese body. And then he kept on going, and basically all the parts look Vietnamese. Now, he then pointed out to me, being a Vietnam veteran, that a lot of veterans stayed in Vietnam. So we could easily be talking about a Vietnam veteran, which was one of the things that people were saying was, is it a veteran from America or not? It could
Really? A lot of veterans ended up staying in Vietnam?
Yes. My dad knows 2 right off the top of his head.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So that having been said, the criticism from some people that it could be from somewhere else is possible. It is possible, and that it could be a not American veteran, also possible, but it could easily be an American veteran. Apparently, which I believe. Again, I'm going on somebody who's both a guitar expert and is a Vietnam veteran. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that they are made just to be nice by an American veteran. The company is an American veteran using Vietnamese parts. That having been said, a Vietnamese Les Paul guitar, brand new, is something more like between 300 and 500, really depending on how much of it is Vietnamese, because it usually isn't all Vietnamese. Some of the parts are from different Asian countries, even sometimes American. So depending on the grade of the parts used, that's, it'll make the price go up or down. These look like they have all Vietnamese parts basically. So, but like he said, he gave a rough estimate that these shouldn't be too much more than $500. So they're putting about a $1,200 to $1,500, or a $700 to $1,000 markup on it. Not that bad, to be honest. That's not horrible, but I would never buy something endorsed by a celebrity that I don't like. So that was what kind of prompted this. Also, I'm not going to buy a guitar from somebody that I don't know. If I saw Donald Trump get up there and play some Jimi Hendrix, I might actually think twice. I really might. I'm not saying it would sway me in my purchase, but I might actually think twice about the value of these guitars at least.
It's like Lady Gaga selling cameras.
All right. Well, let me provide you a little bit of information here,
Yes,
right?
please
So,
do. Yeah.
so, and real quick, I'll give you an idea of what I did here. So,
Yeah.
every company in the entire country has to have some sort of filing, right, for their company. So, I went and looked up the SEC filing for Get Trump Guitars. It's owned by a company that's called 16 Creative. 16 Creative, co-owned by Ted DiBiase Jr., who's a former WWE wrestler, Jared Ashley and David Keller, who are both veterans in not only for service but in music. They both served in the 90s. Jared was a Navy veteran, served aboard the USS Kitty Hawk in the 1990s, and Keller was a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps, also served in the early 90s, so not Vietnam vets.
But veterans.
But veterans, yes. I mean, Ted DiBiase, I don't know. I didn't look him up, but looked up the veterans. And what I just did is all I did was I just put them inside the veteran database and looked them
Boom.
up. And
Cool. All right.
so, yeah. So that gives you insight there. So these are not Vietnam vets.
No, but they're veterans nonetheless, which is that's what they
They
state.
are vets. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my dad was just saying that like it shouldn't, because of the parts that he saw on the guitars. He was like, it doesn't matter where they were made. Like even I had said that they kind of looked South Korean to me, which he also said there are some South Korean bodies, but where the switch is located is a little different apparently. Anyway, so he was like, that was actually a good guess. Also, a lot of veterans stayed in South Korea. I mean, you could name any one of our wars. Some veterans might have stayed. It's not a stretch. So when people were criticizing that, well, it could be a veteran from some other country. Sure, it could have been, but it could have been an American, even given your theory. It could have been a veteran in another country that was still American. So fucking, as much as I don't like Trump, lay off. This doesn't seem to me too crazy until you add his signature for $10,000. Then I'm a little bit, okay, bro, calm down, calm the fuck down.
Well, let me ask you this: what is the signature worth?
Oh, now again, that's
$10.
the resell of that is invaluable. So I understand the investment too. And I would say to the person that will absolutely purchase that for sure for $20,000 for another $10,000 markup. Calm down, bro. like
don't you think that 10,000 comparatively seems reasonable? Like LeBron James signature, like do you think the president's worth more than that guy? Like
I think so, but
and this isn't an anti-LeBron thing. I don't care about LeBron James. I'm just just take a baseball player, you know what I mean? Derek Jeter. I mean, is his signature worth I understand he hits home runs and the president doesn't, but
yeah,
one of those guys is gonna be remembered 1,000 years from now. One of those guys is going to be a footnote somewhere in the history. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Exists,
I'm not a celebrity guy. Yeah. I'm not an autograph guy. But I'm just saying, what do you think the going rate should be? I mean, do you think 10,000 is too extreme for a signature?
My mom said 20 when I asked them to guess. My dad wouldn't guess, but my mom said 20. So then that's when I said, oh, because she does know the value of stuff like that because like her store was a handmade clothing gallery. So you'd have people come in and say, a shawl for $1,500? Are you on your fucking crack right now? And it's, well, you know what? Somebody made this by hand with fucking chenille. You know how hard that is? You can go to the mall and get your $10 version if you want. But trust me,
sure.
So that's what people pay for and blah, blah, blah. And I do get the difference, though I would still get the $10 version at the mall. Having lived through seen the difference and actually even learned to use a what is that called, the machine that does all the weaving, whatever it's called, a loom, a loom, yeah. I understand how difficult it is, so like I get you, but so yeah, like I said, she has an understanding. Like she said $20,000, and I just about spat my food out because I was expecting her to say something low because she's also not a Trump supporter. One might even say she actually really hates him. Like at least like me and my dad don't hate him, we just don't support him. But like she and her sisters are definitely out for blood at some point. I think I could be wrong. She's not that much of a hater. But yeah,
here's my thought on a guitar that I would never buy under a million years because for two reasons. Number one, and obviously we're not going to get into political affiliations, but even if I strongly supported said candidate, or soon to be president, I have no use for a guitar. I'm not a guitar player.
Yeah.
Right. So my feelings are, if I was going to buy a guitar, I know obviously what a Gibson is. I know what a Les Paul is. Right. If I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to get I'm going to get the right thing. I'm going to give me the real McCoy. Because at the end of the day, the Trump thing, sure, that's cute. It's a niche thing, whatever. But that may not, again, stand the test of time for functionality. Yes, for collectability, I'm sure that Trump one's going to go on further. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But functionality and getting what, as a non-music guy, can tell you is the best in the business at building guitar. And I don't want to get into a long debate, but right? If you ask me who's the best in the world, you put a gun to my head, you tell me I got 10 seconds to live, who makes the best guitar? That's what I'm going to tell you. I would get that because, to me, the value is tremendously higher when it comes to functionality.
Agreed.
But, it's the collecting portion of it. The one thing I'll say about Trump, the one huge difference between him and a lot of people, there's never been anybody with his ability to market anything.
I agree.
I mean, the man has literally sold from steaks to books. He had an airline at one point. He had a board game at one point. The guy can just sell anything. And because of the way his fan base is energized now, so when you brought up those guitars and you're like, oh, I think this is wild that these ones, I think they really did sell out, because let me tell you what I think happened. I think people got worried. They got the cease and desist. I think people went, oh shit, they're going to pull these things off. I better go get one of these 1,200 guitars. And they went out and they rushed and they grabbed all these guitars. And let me tell you another thing. I don't think Trump was upset about that. I think when they got that cease and desist, they probably, and I don't want to say Trump because it sounds like he's not affiliated with this company. I'm looking into what's invested in this company right now. I'm literally running the report.
Yep.
I don't think he's even affiliated with this company.
It's just
but
his signature and endorsement.
This company probably put that cease and desist out because they knew that it was bring up the demand.
Oh yeah, I mean
for their product.
The parts that they use, though they're not Gibson parts, Gibson authorizes the company that they came from to make those parts. So I mean, round circle of money, bro. It doesn't stop anywhere. It just keeps,
So you're telling me that
No, I'm saying I think it's 50%, not conspiracy, but I think that there was probably a bunch of people that did buy them up, but I'm not horribly against the thought that maybe, knowing the value of it, there might be somebody who bought more than one of them, just, as a knowing that would make the stock on them basically go up. I'm sorry, Adrian, go ahead.
Well, I was kind of confused because basically what you said was Gibson allows other companies, basically they allow other people to, I guess, license and build their style sort of guitar.
Yeah, but they have to pay
in this
for
sense.
it. They have to pay for it, yeah.
Right. Which means that were these people allowed that?
Well, no. That's Trump is notorious for basically not for asking forgiveness rather than permission. So it's not.
Hey, Nate did it again. Donald Trump's not making these guitars.
Or let me actually. Well, Trump is notorious for that, but let me rephrase that. Most companies are notorious for doing that because it costs less and gives them more traction in their product. Because as soon as you hear news that something might be canceled, a bunch of people are going to buy it. And when you know it's not going to get canceled, like you're going to be able to follow through, or it was limited already, so you only invested what you needed to in the limited edition that you got. That's the easiest way to make traction. I mean, I think probably the only product I can think of that was a flop in that way is like the DeLorean. Like that really didn't take off as much as it should have. Like,
because it was a very poorly built vehicle.
Exactly.
And had Back to the Future never come along, they would have gained no traction because people really thought they were buying a fucking time machine, and they didn't realize that they were buying a poorly built car. Not just that it was poorly built, they had the worst engines probably of any car company
the worst
ever
everything.
had.
Everything.
Yeah,
their frame wasn't even built with car frame metal.
The stainless steel outside. I mean, they just You're right. They're just a poorly built vehicle.
But I mean, that's one that like had everything going for it. Everything. I mean, there was no way you could fuck that up, and somehow the U.S. government wasn't near it when it fucked up. I don't know how that's a thing, but it was. But yeah, he's Sean, you're 100% right about it. Is like the cease and desist letter only fueled it. Like as soon as the first video I watched about it that came out said, I wonder what Gibson is going to do about this, because they're notorious they're still in a few different disputes right now legally with companies distributing product that look like theirs. So it's not uncommon of them to do it, and it's not uncommon of other guitar companies to do it. So and again, it's not an uncommon practice for companies to not ask permission. So not surprised by that at all. And do I think so? This is my next question: do we think that this guitar deserves a place in a museum, a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is like in the like museum being the highest, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame being like not as prestige, so one step down. The Hard Rock Cafe, so like yeah, you're kind of bordering on nothing. Um, at some cheap fucking guitar store, the trash, or are we putting it way up here in a glass case in a millionaire's mansion? Where
Are we
does this
talking about
fall?
Trump's guitar or
Yeah,
Les
yeah. Where?
Paul's guitar?
No. Trump's guitar. Where do we think we see that? Say 50 years from now, like you said.
I think its ceiling is in the main foyer of Mar-a-Lago. I think that's the top shelf for
Okay,
it, and
that's
I'm
not
saying
fair.
I'm
No.
saying this in a serious way. I think its top shelf is like coming into the main vestibule of Mar-a-Lago and it being there encased with, of course, his signature because
Oh
it's
my
Trump.
god, you fucking.
That's where I think the ceiling is. Where do I
Okay.
think the floor is? Probably the Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, I
Okay,
think that's a
okay.
pretty fair assessment. Yeah,
Okay,
with some random bar in like, Westfield, Massachusetts. Some random honky tonk wannabe, playing on the Nashville kind of thing. But that's the range of where that guitar is gonna go.
Well, I feel
I
like
think
you've
it's
cheated.
entirely dependent on how much rich people value Trump.
Okay. Or maybe even how much rock stars value Trump. I mean, we might have like Kid
Also
Rock
true.
might come out playing that one of those guitars.
They're also
so.
considered to be rich people, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So
Well, here's the thing though. We have 4 years of statistical data to put some of this stuff by. And again, while we're talking about this, I'm looking up Trump memorabilia. I'm on a high-end auction site right now.
I just wonder if it was John Cena over Trump. Like, what's the But no, go ahead.
So, like, if you're looking at like a lot of his stuff, and again, one of the things I like about Sotheby's, and I'm looking on my phone, so I can't obviously
You're
put it
good.
on. But one of the things I like about Sotheby's is they tell you the trending, how it's been trending over the last, and you can pick the parameters. So I went over the last 10 years, went over the last 5 years, went over the last 2 years, went over the last year.
Nice.
Broke it all down into filters. So basically, his stuff, everything that he has out there, signature wise, everything he's got on the market. And I mean, he's got some good stuff on here. He's got golf clubs on here. He has cars that he's signed on here, which I think is insane.
really,
yeah, he has some fucking. It's a Donald Trump basically wrapped Dodge Challenger, and the whole thing is wrapped. It's pretty impressive. But anywho, here, I'm gonna see if I can get a picture. I have a privacy screen, so I'll see if I can flip this around. Hold on. But all of its stuff, honestly, is trending like 1.6%.
Yeah.
Which, to put this in comparison, like your average celebrity trends on this thing at like 0.25%.
Oh shit.
He's trailing. So he's trailing a bit above that, but still, he's not like Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth's trending 51% increase what's considered year over year value.
Okay.
So he's up there. He's not like low, but he's up there in terms of what's happening. But I think that there's definitely some. I can't really. Let's see. I'm trying to get this picture.
I want to say your answer is like DQ'd because you cheated a little bit, but I don't think you're wrong. So I think you win there.
Well, I'm looking it up for you. I'm not. I don't know if it's cheating.
But the Mar-a-Lago. I mean, of course it's gonna go there. We knew that because but yeah.
I can't really get it.
Yeah,
I have a privacy screen, so it's not going to show up. But yeah.
Wait a minute. I got this. I can do it. Let me bring it up. I'm just gonna put Donald Trump Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, there you go. I think you have to, yeah, I don't know. Either way.
Oh shit, that oh man.
Did you open up something you didn't want to open up?
No, it's just I typed Dodge and one of the first things that popped up was draft. So
I like how you just wanted to fire that in there. I think that there's going to be some value in this thing, but I don't think it's going to have. I really don't think it's going to have real high end, top shelf value. I don't see it. But again, a lot of things depend on that. You know what? If Trump gets assassinated 2 years into his term, guess what? His stuff is going to skyrocket. Obviously, I'm saying that from a serious standpoint. I'm obviously not in any way endorsing or hoping for that. But his stuff will skyrocket. Everybody's stuff is worth more in death. I mean, it just just the way our world works. When he dies, it's going to go up, but depending on how he dies,
Should I disclaimer
will
that
drastically
shit?
change it. I would, yeah, probably put that on
Probably
there.
put a
Let the
disclaimer.
FBI know that that's not in any way,
No.
shape, or form views that we share amongst ourselves, and we're just stating from a
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
from a basic standpoint.
Oh, I just saw. Okay. I'm just gonna say this about it is that I can't find the challenger you're talking picture. I'm sure I will, and I'll put it up in one of these corners when I've done some editing, guys. But I am noticing one distinct picture of an incident that happened with a Dodge Challenger that didn't think of off the top of my head. Where one might have rushed into a crowd of people and injured them.
Oh, I remember
Yeah,
that.
I
I forgot about
that
that.
might not be the right car to associate yourself with, sir. Anyway, no matter who you are, I'm just
Anywho,
saying.
what's our next topic, Nate?
I agree. I agree. We're gonna move on.